So welcome to today's webinar. My name's Lenny, I'm gonna be your host today, and what we're gonna be covering is Jungle Scout and all the tools inside and how to use them. We're gonna go through a demonstration for about 25 minutes or so. Following that, we're gonna go into a Q&A session for 10 minutes where I answer any questions that you might have. Now, we do have our amazing support team in the chat at the moment, so feel free to ask questions throughout and they'll get on top of those questions for you. And then I'll just answer any additional ones that are left at the end. This is a beginner's webinar to help you get started, so I may not go super in depth with some of the areas, but I will show you some resources that you can access later on for more information. So without any further ado, let's dive in. All right, you should see the Jungle Scout dashboard here. The first thing we're gonna look at is on the left-hand side here, you'll see all the different sort of areas that we have. The first one being find products. This is where you're gonna spend most of your time. So if we click on that one, you'll see it's made up of 3 tools. The product database and the niche hunter are very good at helping you find and generate product ideas if you have no idea what you wanna sell. Then the product tracker comes in after and helps you narrow down and verify those ideas. So let's go through an example. So what is the product database to begin with? Well, what we've done is just re-catalog a lot of Amazon's best-selling products into our own catalog in a user-friendly way for sellers. So what I mean is over here on Amazon, they give you a lot of great information as a consumer, but as a seller, you don't have good information in terms of how many sales are these products getting? Is it a good opportunity or not? Those are the sorts of metrics that you can get inside of the product database. So let's go through an example. Firstly, select the category you would like. You can select however many categories you like. I have got some recommendations in terms of ones to perhaps steer clear of when you first start out. Some of those are a lot of these electronics ones, okay? They tend to have a lot more moving parts. There's more risk of things going wrong with those products. So you might want to stay away from those. Clothing, shoes, and jewelry. In this category, people tend to be a lot more brand loyal and they're less likely to spend money on a no-name brand. Grocery and gourmet food. We recommend staying away from anything that goes in or on your body. Again, there's just a lot more chance of something going wrong or seriously wrong with those kinds of products. Then of course you've got Kindle Store and software. Those are more, we want to sell physical products. So those are just some categories you might want to steer clear of just when you're starting out. Next, up here, you've got product tier, standard or oversize. Generally, you want to stick to standard size products. Oversize are larger, heavier, they cost more in shipping to get to Amazon, and Amazon has more restrictions around how many you can send in at a time. So particularly when you're starting out, you want to stick to small and lightweight products, which is going to be standard. To the right of that, you can filter by the seller type. So here, you can filter by products that are sold only by Fulfilled by Amazon, or Fulfilled by Merchant, or Amazon themselves. Generally speaking, I just uncheck all of these and search throughout all of them. Now, into the filters. The first one is going to be price. So let's go $15 to $50. Below $15, the profit margins get very, very slim. And above $50, people are less likely to make an impulse buy on a brand or a product that they don't know. So that's why I picked that as a good price range. Next, we're going to look at sales. You want to make sure that there is demand for your product, that people actually want to buy it. That's going to make life a lot easier. So we're going to put in a minimum of 300 sales per month. This is equal to about 10 sales per day, which is kind of a good number to shoot for. While you want high demand, you also want to make sure that the competition is fairly low. So the way you gauge that is by reviews. So in the top right corner here, we're going to set a maximum number of reviews at 80. This means that it's not as competitive to come into that market or niche, okay? Now, those are sort of the main ones that I would start with, the main filters, but I'm going to show you a couple more that I really like. The next one I'm going to show you is just below reviews, and that's star rating, minimum and maximum rating, which is over here on Amazon, the average star rating that every product has out of 5 stars. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put in a maximum of 3.5 stars. We're only going to see listings that are rated below that. Now, on Amazon, that is actually a fairly poor score. So what we're looking at here, we're looking at products that are still getting a lot of sales, but at the same time are rated poorly. That means people are still willing to purchase this item despite the fact that it's been rated poorly on Amazon. What this means is it gives you an opportunity to improve upon that product. The way I recommend doing that is by looking at the 1 and 2 star reviews on those listings and seeing what people don't like about this product. What are they complaining about? Then try to fix that problem. Take that to your supplier, say, hey, can you make this from a different material? Can you make this stronger? Etc., etc. And get your supplier to fix that problem, and then you bring that improved product to the market and capture that share. So that's a really great filter to look at. The next one I want to show you is right down the bottom here, called LQS, or Listing Quality Score. All the listings inside of our product database, we give a ranking, from 1 to 10 based off of its listing quality. So this comes down to things like the title, the description, and the images, with 10 being a great listing and 1 being a poor listing, okay? So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna set a maximum of 5 for the LQS. So again, we're only looking at poor listings, but are still selling well. This gives you a marketing opportunity. It means you can go in and sell maybe the same product, but just improve upon the listing optimization. That means maybe optimize your title better, fill out all of your bullet points, have better images, that sort of thing. So that's why LQS is another really great filter to try out. Next, you can come up the very top. If you have come up with a filter set that you like, you can click on Save Filter Set, and you can save this as a preset so you can come back at any time. Also, if you don't have any ideas where to start, you can click on Load Filter Set, and you'll see that we've created some presets here of our own to get you started. Now we're going to come down and click Search. Searching. All right, let me go through these different columns here that of information. So of course you've got your price, but then below that you've got fees, which refers to Amazon's fees. This is how much they take out, and then the net amount below that is how much actually gets credited into your account, because Amazon takes out their cut first. Also, if you click on the net amount, it brings up this really cool profit calculator. So let's say you want to sell this product, but you want to experiment with the price and see what sort of a profit margin you could get at different prices. So let's say we know the product cost is, maybe it's $5 for the product and it's $1 per unit to ship into Amazon. So I'm going to put $6. And then if I hit calculate profit, instantly you see that you'll get $6 profit from this product. But what if you want to sell it at a different price? Maybe you're selling a premium version of this product that you think you could sell for maybe $20. Let's change the product price to $20, hit calculate, and again, you can instantly see your profit at that price range. The other thing I recommend doing here is going down and trying to find your break-even point. What's the price that you can sell at to break even before you start losing money? So I'm just going to experiment, put in $10. You see that you start to lose money there, so maybe it's around about $12. And so you can see it's about $12. This is useful to know because when you first start out selling a product, you might intentionally lower the price of your product in order to get your first sales, just to kind of get that momentum going. So it's always handy to know what that lowest price is, okay? Because if worse comes to worse, and for instance, you had to sell out of that product, it's good to know what the lowest price is that you can come down to. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use this profit calculator. All right, you've got some of this other information that we covered, such as the reviews and the average star rating. On the far right side here, you've got the sales and revenue. Then on the very far right, you've got a link here to view that listing on Amazon. And then up the top, you've got the ability to add to group. This is referring to the product tracker, which is the next step that I recommend. So I'm going to add one of these products. Let's see, I'm going to do this, gym towels. So if I come across here, click new group. And so it's always a good idea with a new product to create a new group. We're going to select the US as our marketplace. That's the one that we're looking in. And I'm going to call this gym towels. It's important to name the group after the product, okay? So I'm going to select gym towels, create and add product. After a couple of seconds, it will complete. You'll see up the top right here, we've got successfully added to the product tracker. Now I'm going to come back to the product tracker in just a moment and tell you why you would want to do that. But before we do, I'm going to quickly show you Niche Hunter. Remember, the other tool that helps you generate product ideas. All right. So what is the Niche Hunter? How is it different to the product database? Well, essentially what the product database does is that it finds individual listings that match your criteria. Niche Hunter is a little bit different in that it actually looks at search term results, okay? Looks at keywords that match your criteria, and it analyzes the top listings under those results, okay? So it takes up to the top 10 listings under a particular keyword, and it finds out what is the average reviews, what are the average number of sales, and it makes sure that that matches your criteria. So what you're really doing here is analyzing an entire niche, okay? And the reason that you might want to do that is, the reason you want to do that is because it's always a good idea to look at the entire niche and not just the individual one listing. Because while you might have one listing that has low competition, that doesn't mean that there aren't other listings that are more competitive and would make it harder for you to compete. So that's why the Niche Hunter is really great. It sort of does that step for you. All right. If you click to open up one of these, you'll see all of the listings displayed here. You'll also see a lot of the same information as before, and you'll also see the option to add this to a group in the product tracker. Up the top, you'll see we've got sliders instead of inputting numbers, and it's all very similar. There are a couple of new fields here. One is opportunity score. And so that's just as it sounds. The higher the number, the better the opportunity. So in this example, we're looking for keywords that have higher opportunity scores. Okay? Otherwise, you hit search and it works very similar to the product database. All right, now let's move on to the product tracker. So again, the product tracker is the next stage after you've generated some product ideas. If you're looking at the example from the product database, I would recommend adding a few different listings from that sort of niche, okay? So what does the product tracker do? Well, in addition to giving you sort of monthly sales estimates, the product tracker can actually give you real sales data. It does this by tracking products in real time on a daily basis, okay? So up the top here, you'll see all the different groups that I've created for individual products. We're in the gym towels one, and you'll see there's one listing there, the one that I just added. If I click over in yoga mat, you'll see that there's quite a number of listings here that I've been tracking. So let's open up one of these, okay? What you'll see here is a graph, and if you hover over, you'll see that each one of those is a particular day, and you can see for each day the number of units sold for that time period. If we come up to the date range, you can go all the way from 7 days up to 60. So I'm gonna maybe choose 30 for this example. All right, so we've been tracking this product for a little while, and the real reason you want to use the product tracker is to verify the number of sales that a product is getting before you go out and invest into that product. For instance, you'll see, there's one day here that, estimates 68 units sold, okay, which is actually a really great number. But in comparison to, this day here where it sells 88, if you only track a product on one given day or a couple of different days, you might get very different sales numbers. Which one does it get? Does it get 66 or 88? Those are very, very different numbers, and you don't want to base big business decisions off of that. However, if you track a product for at least a couple of weeks or a good amount of time, you can start to see what the average is. Okay, so that's why it's really important to use the product tracker. You've got the same information as before, such as the units sold, the revenue. Down here, you can view the listing on Amazon again. You've also got the option to add product notes. So if I click on this one, you can kind of add in whatever notes you have on that particular product, which is really handy to have. If you're tracking multiple listings, you can come up the top here and you can see averages of all these listings. You can see the average number of units sold, the average LQS, the average price, star rating, etc. So it gives you an overview of that entire niche that you're tracking. But what do you do in the example of the gym towel that I just added if you've only got one listing? Remember, I did say it's a good idea to track a number of listings in this sort of field. Well, we've got this really great button up the top right here called Recommend Products. If I click on that one, it starts finding listings based off of the title that I gave the group name. That's why I said earlier it's very important to name the group directly after the product. So now we've got a bunch of listings here. I can select particular ones, or I can just check them all and click Add to Group. All right, now you'll see that all these listings have been added and we're going to begin tracking them. One thing to note is that if I open this up, you might get this message that says, please check back in 48 hours for some sales data. Now, as we are tracking these products in real time, we do need that first 48 hours in order to get that first amount of information. But that's cool because, as I recommend, it's best to track products for at least a couple of weeks anyway. So it shouldn't be an issue waiting a couple of days to get that information. It's better to wait and collect all of this information so that you can be really confident in how well this product sells when you go about doing it yourself. Additionally, there are some other ways to add products to the product tracker. You can do this by using the ASIN or Amazon URL. As an example, let's open up one of these listings. I'm inside of a listing. Now, you can find the ASIN, which is just a unique identifier that Amazon gives all their listings, up in the URL up here. So you can either copy that or you can copy the entire URL, and let's paste that in. I know this is in the wrong category, but that's okay. Just for this example, you'll see that this has been added to the product tracker. So that's another way to do it. So that covers the product tracker and the entire find product section of Jungle Scout. As I mentioned earlier, when you're first starting out, this is the section that you're going to spend most of your time in. But now I'm going to shift gears and run through some of the other features that are inside of Jungle Scout, but at a little bit of a quicker pace, as we're not going to go too in depth with those. So next up is the Find Suppliers section. So, as it sounds, this helps you with the next stage after finding a product, which is sourcing that product. And the tools inside of here help you, one, find suppliers to work with and make your product, and two, to verify ones that you might have found elsewhere, okay? And the way that we do that is by checking it against import records into the US. So you get really detailed information in terms of how many shipments have they actually imported to the US, and what are some of the companies that they've worked with. So this information is really, really valuable. So that is the Find Suppliers section. Next is keywords. Now, keywords are very important in the Amazon ecosystem, if you will. And they are important because keywords are how your products get found. Okay, when people go shopping on Amazon.com, they type in what they want and they click on one of the top listings, okay? So you need to make sure that your listing is well optimized for appearing in those top search terms for your product. And that's what Keyword Scout does. It helps you figure out what are those most relevant keywords for your product, and then it also helps you optimize your listing so that you appear under them. You can also use keywords for things such as PPC, or Amazon Sponsored Product Ads, which is Amazon's paid advertising to also help you get more sales. So there's so many ways that you can use keywords, and another fantastic section in Jungle Scout. Next up, we've got the Academy. I always call it the Jungle Academy. And this is a really exciting one. This is a whole bunch of in-house education. You'll see that we've got a number of series here with a bunch of videos inside of each. And the exciting thing here is that we're going to be constantly adding more and more content to the Academy over time. And so this content is exclusive to Jungle Scout members. So for all of your selling on Amazon education, make sure to jump in and check out the Academy. You'll probably see my face in there a little bit, plus a bunch of other people from the Jungle Scout team. Also, if you have any ideas of content that you'd like to see in there, reach out to us. We'd love to hear what you want to learn more about so that we can help set you guys up for success. So that's the Academy. Next is Launch. This is an exciting area that we just recently launched or integrated into Jungle Scout. It's made up of two sections, email campaigns and then promotions. So this really, as it sounds, helps you launch your product and then also communicate with your customer, encouraging them to leave positive feedback and reviews, and just helping them out with any customer service related issues. So this is a very important one to the longevity of your business, and another great area inside of Jungle Scout. Next, we've got a couple more tools. If we come down here, you'll see the extension. Okay, so the extension is a separate tool to Jungle Scout. If I come over to Amazon.com, the extension is a Chrome extension that runs live on Amazon. And the way you use it is, let's say I'm going to use this cat scratcher as an example. I search for a product on Amazon, I click the Chrome extension, and then instantly it gives you a snapshot of all that information that we've been talking about. The sales, the reviews, the average star rating, etc., etc. You've got access to that profit calculator that you also do inside of the product database. So this one is really, really great if you've got ideas on what products you'd like to sell, because you can easily just type it in and then quickly verify one way or another whether it's a good opportunity or not. You'll see in the extension, we've even got up the top right corner here, an opportunity score. So it's just a quick snapshot to give you an idea of whether this is a good opportunity or not. So this is out of 10, with 10 being, an amazing opportunity. From here, you can also export this information into a CSV file so you can view it later in a spreadsheet. You can also add products directly to the product tracker. So it does actually work really well with the rest of the Jungle Scout tools. You don't need them both, but they do work very well hand in hand. So that is the Jungle Scout extension. If we come back, there's one more thing I wanted to share with you, and that is the Jungle Scout Market. So this is a marketplace with all the best Amazon freelancers. The thing that makes us different to other marketplaces similar is that everyone on the Jungle Scout Market has been vetted by us and are experienced with working with Amazon sellers. So these are people that have done product photography specific to Amazon, which has, certain requirements that you need to meet or certain standards. And if you come down here, you'll see all the different categories on the left-hand side. Very common is photography. You've also got people can help you with listing optimization, graphics and design, things like your logo and your packaging, even video, even legal stuff. So just about any service that you need for your Amazon business, chances are you can find someone to help you out with it here in the Jungle Scout Market. So definitely check that one out. Lastly, what I wanted to let you guys know is that if you do have any further questions, you can come down to this little widget down here. You can search for the problem you're having, and we've got a ton of amazing articles that we've accumulated over a long time to help you guys out. If not, if you can't find the answer to your question, you can reach out to our incredible customer service team that works, I think, 24 hours around the clock all over the world, so we'll get back to you very promptly. Additionally, if you want more in-depth tutorials on each of the sections that I've covered or the ones that I haven't, make sure that you head to the Jungle Scout Academy, because again, there's also a lot of tutorials for our products inside of there. All right, so that wraps up this tutorial and overview of the Jungle Scout tools. We're now going to shift into a Q&A session, and I'll answer any questions that you might have. That is, if the Jungle Scout team has left any for me to answer. So I'm just going to jump into the chat box. That's incredible. Looks like there is a ton of chatter going on, which is awesome to see. All right. I don't want to jump into anyone's conversations here. I can see that Luke is chatting with Carly. Let's see. Jacqueline says, do you have access to the JS market if you only have the Chrome extension? Yes, absolutely. So the Jungle Scout Market is not a paid subscription or anything. You just jump on there and then you just pay for the individual services that you're after. Okay, I'm just looking through for some questions, but if you would like me to answer any questions, please drop them in the chat box now, and I'll do my best. Meanwhile, I'm just going to scour through the chat box here and see if there's anything I can jump in on. Let me know if there's anything, if you have any questions about any of the tools that I've covered, if there's something I've left out or something you wanted some more clarity around. Now is your chance. Okay. Okay, so Sawyer says, what does sold by Amazon and shipped by Amazon mean? Can anyone compete with that? Yes, absolutely. So there are three different types of sellers. There's fulfilled by Amazon, which just is generally just third-party sellers like you and me. And that just means that you ship your goods into Amazon's distribution centers, and then they look after the shipping out to the customers, the returns, and et cetera, et cetera. They do all the fulfillment side. There's fulfilled by merchant, which is again a lot of just third-party sellers like you and me. But instead of sending it into Amazon, they ship all the products themselves. So this is where you might have a garage full of inventory and you're going to the post office each day. Okay, we prefer the fulfilled by Amazon method because it's a lot more scalable. You don't need to have a garage or a warehouse full of product yourself. The third option is products that are sold by Amazon. And this is exclusively products sold by Amazon or big companies that Amazon have sort of partnered with. There used to be this sort of misconception that it's hard to sell against products that Amazon are selling, but in our experience, and there's a number of sellers on our team that can kind of back this up, we've never found that to be the case. And in some research and a survey that we did, in kind of some research that came up earlier this year, it's basically become very apparent that Amazon's actually trying to shift away from selling products themselves, and they're more just wanting to run the marketplace and invest in having third-party sellers like you and me doing the majority of selling. It basically works out as a better business model for them. So to answer your question, yes, you can compete against products that are sold by Amazon. Absolutely. All right, let's see what else we've got. When using the product database for a product, the total monthly revenue appears to be a large amount of money. When it is refreshed, the value changes drastically and drops. Why does this happen? With that one, Mina, I'd probably recommend just shoot us an email. Again, go to our support widget and you can reach out to our customer service team. There's there could be like a number of reasons why a product's revenue or sales might differ. It's usually easier for us to look at it on an individual basis. So just shoot through the ASIN or the listing that you're looking at, and we can try to get you a more tailored answer for that one. All right, what's this question? Is it possible to have the $1 million case study included in a JS account? That's a great question. So I'm going to assume that you mean adding that to the Jungle Scout Academy. And that's a great question. We definitely want the Academy to be filled with, the best content to help you from A to Z all along the way. And so, yeah, there's definitely the possibility of having parts of the $1 million case study included. But of course, you can always access that totally for free on our YouTube account, which I'm going to give a shameless plug right now. So make sure you head over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jungle Scout. You'll see my face on there a fair bit, and Greg and others on the team. We're posting content regularly, trying to give you guys the best education in FBA. So it's definitely an amazing resource. So head over there and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, can you explain the email campaign a little bit more? What's offered in the email campaign? Okay, that's a great question. Let me see if I can just show you very quickly. Actually, let's see, if I go to create new. Okay, so if we just have a quick look at email campaigns, I'm gonna rush through setting one up. So first you can set one up from scratch, blank, or I'm gonna choose a template. So let's try 2 review requests. Okay, looks like I haven't set this particular account up correctly to do so. So I'll just try and answer your question. But essentially, what email campaigns do is you set them up based on triggers. So this is when a customer purchases a product from you and when a customer receives a product from you. Based off of that, you can then choose when to send them emails. So for instance, when a customer buys a product from me, I send them out an email saying, hey, thank you so much for buying this product from me. You could even include a link like maybe while you're waiting for your product, make sure to check out this PDF that I've created on how to use it, or something similar to that. And then later on, after they've received their product, maybe you might wait 3, 5, 7 days. You can reach out and again, provide amazing customer service. Like, hey mate, how is it, I see that you received your product the other day. How is it going? Do you have any questions? Is there anything I can help you with? And you can give them just a gentle prod in terms of, hey, if you're enjoying this product, if you're genuinely enjoying it, would you consider maybe leaving us a review to let us know your honest feedback? things like that. So it's about providing amazing customer service, and then it also helps, it gives them a gentle push to leave a review. And obviously it needs to be an honest review. I know that the getting reviews thing has actually been a hot topic in the Amazon space sort of the last couple of months. So on a side note, we do actually have, we're gonna create a video on that soon with sort of our findings on the matter. But yeah, that's kind of an overview of what email campaigns can help you do. All right, what questions do we have? Terry says, I own a brand. How can I get a better ranking? I have competition who lowered price and he is getting high ranking. That's a great question. So first and foremost, I guess it's like, it always comes down to the product. It's like, do you have the best product? The next thing is, how well is your listing optimized? Okay, these are generally the two of the bigger things that I've seen is like the product needs to be really good and competitive. You know, you want your product to be better than your competitors. The other thing then is that you need your listing to be well optimized, okay? You need really nice images. They tend to be a really big factor in getting people to click onto your listing and then to go and buy it. If you're a brand, that's amazing because that gives you access to Amazon Brand Registry, which allows a whole suite of new features, but one of them is enhanced brand content, which gives you this beautiful sort of magazine style layout on your listing, which means when people click onto your listing, you can really sell them, write some great copy and have some nice big vibrant images down in your listing to help convert them into clicking the buy. But you're saying that you have, your ranking is lower, so maybe your listing could be better optimized in terms of keywords. So this might be where you might want to check out our keywords tool and use Keyword Scout. One of the great things that you can do here, let me show you real quick. If you go to Keyword Scout, let's say I come over to Amazon and maybe this is one of our competitors. I'm selling a cat scratcher and this is one of my competitors that are doing really well. You can do what's called a reverse ASIN search, which means you put in a competitor's ASIN, and from there it gives you all the keywords that they are ranking for, and you can sort of see the ones that they're ranking the most for. So you see these guys are getting a lot, most of their traffic from cat scratching post or cat scratcher cardboard. It's always interesting because there's a lot of times that there are keywords that appear that you wouldn't have suspected, right? And so you might be just calling, you know, actually I've been calling this product a cat scratcher. So I might have named my listing cat scratcher, but no one is searching for cat scratcher, or there's just not as much traffic as cat scratching post. So now what I would do is I would optimize and make sure that cat scratching post is the very first thing in my listing title, and you know, use these top keywords as the ones that go into my listing. This is the sort of thing that will help you get better ranking. So that's just scratching the surface, but I hope that helps out a little bit. All right, there's a ton of conversation going on here. I think I've missed a whole bunch of questions. West Nyland Northern, UG, I'm new, and where can I get product images when I'm writing content for my page? Well, the great news is that both of those things you can get on the Jungle Scout market. There's a ton of product photographers there. You can also look at people that are local to where you're living as well. But yeah, the Jungle Scout market has a lot of photographers that you can, you know, choose between. You can see their portfolio. Essentially, you just send them a sample of your product, and then they'll take some photos for you and send them back. Also, when it comes to writing content for your page, I'm assuming you're talking about your listing. Again, if you want help with that, we've got people that our experience with Amazon copywriting, writing specifically for product listing pages, again on the Jungle Scout market. So that's probably my main kind of resource for those two things. All right. Let's see, I might, we'll just take I might take one more question and then we're gonna wrap it up for today. And that's actually a good question. Rocky Mountain Survival says, can you rewatch this webinar somewhere? So yes, for joining today's webinar, you will get sent out a replay link so that you can come back and watch this at a later date. Yes, they are recorded. All right, I'm just trying to find that one last question, but the chat is moving so quickly that it's kind of hard to keep up. Our Jungle Scout team is doing too good of a job with you guys. Marshall says, how can I read the emails on campaigns? They are very small. I'm not entirely sure what you mean. Do you mean it just, all the text and everything appears very small on your screen? That sounds a little bit odd. It sounds like it might be some kind of issue on your browser or computer or something. Perhaps send us an email with a screenshot of what you're seeing and we can kind of help you out. It should just appear at sort of your normal size text and should be very legible. There's also a button down the bottom for you to preview that email so you can kind of see what it will look like when a customer receives it. Okay, so Yuan Fernando says, please help. Submitting question again. How to make sure manufacturers in China are certified for US regulations, customs like FDA, etc. Yeah, this is a great question. It's not always easy to get this information. So some of it you will find displayed on their profiles such as Alibaba, and then also global sources. With global sources, they do actually have a little sort of a green tick, or it's like a green box, it's a green something that basically says this information has been verified by a third party. So that's actually really cool. I think with Alibaba, I think it's a little bit more like, you know, the suppliers themselves can just kind of list stuff on their profiles. I don't know how much of that is absolutely verified. I think maybe they verify some information, but I think the verification process on global sources is a little, it seems to be better, where they do actually verify these things, and then they kind of give it that sort of green tick or whatever it is to say that this is definitely verified by a third party. So yeah, I'd just say also talking with them, maybe you can ask for a copy of their certification. They might be able to send you a PDF or something, or a screenshot that might kind of, you know, verify. It isn't always easy, that's for sure, but generally just asking is one of the better ways to go about it. All right, Rocky Mountain Survival says, where can I get that cool shirt that you're wearing? Well, I'm going to tell you where, okay? I do believe we're selling a number of Jungle Scout shirts. Guess where? On Amazon. So head over to Amazon and, I don't know, maybe just type in Jungle Scout t-shirt. I actually don't know if we're still selling them, but we were at some point. But I'm glad you think it's cool. So maybe we'll have to start doing some more giveaways and giving out some free t-shirts for sure. All right. Luke says, how about a section like this comment board for access to JS members? That's a great question, Luke. I'm sure that's going to get noted by our team, and yeah, we'll see if we can work on something like that. That would be super cool. We definitely want to encourage this community. Also, if you haven't joined our Facebook group, it's called FBA Competitive Edge. That's where a ton of our members are in. It's a crazy highly engaged group. Everyone in there is very supportive of each other and is very, very active. So that's another great resource where you can get, questions answered and support from other people that are doing the same thing. So definitely check that one out. Definitely check out our YouTube channel, as I mentioned earlier, and subscribe to get content on a regular basis. I'm really excited about the video content we've got coming out for the rest of the year. We've got some really top-notch stuff for you guys. Again, this webinar is going to be replayed, or you'll be able to access a replay link afterwards. I hope you've got a lot of value from this. I hope it's helped you get started with Jungle Scout. Any questions that we haven't answered here, we will answer in the Facebook group in about a week or two. We will collate all of them and go live in there to answer your questions. So thank you so much for joining today. I'm going to wrap it up for now. But again, all the very best with your product hunting, and I'll see you next time. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.